It was 2023, and this is by far the lowest part of my life. I was just in community college. I didn't understand what trajectory my life was going. I didn't really understand, like, look, God, what do you want me to do with my life? I was going to community college, no expectations, kind of figuring everything out. I had basketball scholarships to go play college basketball at high school. Nothing really worked out. God kind of changed the trajectory of my path. My grandma got sick with cancer, and everything seemed like it was spiraling out of control. So, as someone who didn't understand what direction to go, I had to start asking questions. I had to start looking within myself. I had to start looking at how my future would be set up. So what did I do to try to fill my void? I tried to talk to people. I tried to talk to girls. I tried to fill voids that I feel like I couldn't fill. And I'm sure as men, we all been there. We're at our lowest and we're still trying to have somebody to support us. We have our parents. Maybe if you don't have your parents, you still have somebody that still loves you, supports you. But we all want that special someone to keep around us. And and as someone that was around 20, 21 years old, I had to learn that my happiness couldn't rely on a girl. I got so invested in wanting a girlfriend that it ended up causing me a lot more pain than I realized. I was never really prepared to gravitate towards that yet. My mindset was, let me get it with a girl because this girl is going to uplift me and edify my life. Let me get with this person because, yes, if I add them to my life will be amazing. And majority of these girls I talked to, they look good. They were beautiful. They were kind, cute, and majority of them at the time, I thought they had godly, spirits and godly joy and happiness, and they treated me with care. But one thing I noticed in every single one of them when it came to them and me getting to know them was there was always some type of red flag that was coming up. And one thing I knew was that I wasn't where I was supposed to be in my life. Right, I was working at a grocery store making $9.50 an hour. I was living this life that was mediocrity in my eyes. Maybe not in you guys' eyes, but like in a real way. So mind you, boom, it's 2023, and I'm working at a grocery store in the summer. I had to make the decision to go to community college. Me not understanding this, I had to just walk in. If I didn't know what major I wanted to do, I was just going to do general studies. Had to get to my basics, my science, my math, and just get those done because those are the most annoying parts. And me realizing this, I had to further myself, further my career. I had to start praying a lot about things. I was in this place in my life where nothing made sense. Every single day went by fast. Some days went by slow. Some days I felt way more tired than others. Some days I felt like the days would just keep going and going. Next thing you know, it was 2024 and everything kept speeding up. But I had to tell myself, I have to make a decision. I have to change my life. If I want God to bless me with what I feel like I can be blessed with, I have to make a decision. I have to listen to God and I have to make a decision. And I'm telling y'all this, one thing you don't want to do is chase after what you don't need. Chase after your career. Chase after what God wants you to be, who he wants you to grow to become, who he wants you to become, bro. That's what this is about. This life is about continuous growth. Without elevation in your life, God cannot bless you with further things because he won't think you're prepared to be able to handle those things. How can you take care of a family, a relationship, if you can't even take care of yourself? And something I have to tell myself constantly every single day, and even especially back then, is that my entire emotional state cannot be factored in by how human beings respond or reject or how they feel towards me. That can't be the determining factor. Of course, we're human. We all want to be glorified, loved. We all want a partner. We all want that woman, or if you're a woman, we all want that. You all want that man in your life who will bring that comfort and peace. But if God isn't the forefront of it all, if he is not the one to bring you peace, then that means you are looking towards a human being, a carnal, fleshly, imperfect person to give you that satisfaction and that validation. But see, that's the problem with us. That was the problem with me, is that I was looking for validation from girls. I was looking for validation from people. fault. I have this problem where I would try to prove myself to everybody. It was not necessarily like what was wrong with me. What about me was making people afraid, or not necessarily afraid. Let me rephrase that. What was a factor of me that was making people kind of deject themselves from me or reject me? Was it their fears of who I was or who I was becoming, or was it because I was projecting and just being myself? I think at the end of the day, if you were just being yourself and you were continuously looking to be growing, and you were looking in the mirror every single day, waking up, and obviously not being satisfied, but being happy about who you are and who you are becoming, especially as a Christian, as even just a regular human being, I say for you, you are going in the right direction. Don't ever think that just because you don't have what somebody else has, that you aren't meant for more, that you aren't meant to be loved. Just because you got rejected, that doesn't mean you aren't meant for love. Just because you got rejected from the job does not mean you don't deserve, or you can't strive for greater. See, I believe this. If 2023, 2022, 2024 me could talk to 2025 me, and honestly going on to 2026 me, this is what I'd say to him. I say, man, be patient. Be patient with the process. Don't allow people to control you. Don't allow people's feelings towards you to control you. Don't allow people to feel like they can force you to do anything. Don't allow people's perceptions of you to control your perception of yourself. And at the end of the day, people's realities of who you are is only an opinion. It's not factual. The world judged a perfect man. They eliminated a perfect man. And we're going to sit here, judge one another, and you're going to allow judgment from a human being who sins just like you to affect you. Listen, bro, you don't have to continue to impress other people. The only thing you have to do is live for God. The only thing you have to do is to not live for yourself, to serve others, but to continue to love others. How you look at yourself in the mirror, how you wake up every single day looking to strive to become the best version of yourself every day is what truly matters. If you are looking towards the cross every single day, if you are ready to take up that next step for your life, that is what matters. And see, what I would also tell 2023 me is that blessings were coming. Greatness was coming. You just have to keep walking 1% by 1%. Every single day, it is a possibility for growth. I had to look myself in the mirror. Sometimes my eyes would be crusty. Sometimes my eyes would be basically almost crying. But I had to also realize that I wasn't alone in the process. There's other people who are going through the same similar struggles. But we all got things we go through. All of us got things that we struggle with. But how are you going to respond to the things that you have gone through? How are you going to be a best and better version of yourself? How are you going to allow this process to benefit you? Or are you going to allow it to depreciate who you are? I hope you learned something. I hope this story, I just hope my whole experience, especially the hardest part of my life, I hope this shows you another side of how great you can be. And if you're going through any type of struggle, any type of insecurity, any type of spiritual problem, anything, just know you can always DM me and we can have a conversation, or, talk to God. That's probably one of the greatest things you can do. And it's the greatest opportunities you have. Talk to God about it. Read your word about it. Search. We have the internet. If you need to find some verses, do that. But don't sit there and lean on the world to validate you, because people come and go in this world. People come and go, and that's okay. But don't ever lose yourself for anybody, and don't think you have to figure it out on your own. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching.